Let's continue to read. Blessing for a defiled people. On the 24th day of the ninth month, in the second year of Darius, the word of the Lord came to the prophet Haggai. This is what the Lord Almighty says. Ask the priest what the law says. If a person carries consecrated meat in the fold of his garment, and that fold touches some bread or stew, some wine, oil, or other food, does it become consecrated? The priest answered, no. Then Haggai said, if a person defiled by contact with a dead body touches one of these things, does it become defiled? Yes, the priest replied, it becomes defiled. Then Haggai said, so it is with this people and this nation in my sight, declares the Lord. Whatever they do and whatever they offer, there is defiled. Now give careful thought to this from this day on. Consider how things were before one stone was laid on another in the Lord's temple. When anyone came to a heap of 20 measures, there were only 10. When anyone went to a wine vat to draw 50 measures, there were only 20. I struck all the work of your hands with blight, mildew, and hail, yet you did not turn to me, declares the Lord. From this day on, from this 24th day of the ninth month, give careful thought to the day when the foundation of the Lord's temple was laid. Give careful thought. Is there yet any seed left in the barn? Until now, the vine and the fig tree, the pomegranate and the olive tree have not borne fruit. From this day on, I will bless you. So, this is a lot. My goodness, this is a lot. This is a prophecy this is a telling of just everything. This is telling them, it's telling us, it's telling the future. This is a lot. Okay, let's see if we can try to. So this is sermon upon sermon 2. Okay, so listen to what he says. Okay, reread some of this. Okay, here we go. If a person carries consecrated meat in the fold of his garment, and that fold touches some bread or stew, some wine, oil, or other food, does it become consecrated? So, and the priest answered no. So he's saying, like, does the other things become consecrated? So if the meat is consecrated and it touches some of these other things, do they become consecrated? He said no. Then Haggai said, if a person defiled by contact with a dead body touches one of these things, does it become defiled? So remember, part of the rules during that time under law was if you touched a dead body, whatever circumstance, with the circumstance, how it reads, how it is, that you may become defiled. And so the priest says, yes. The priest replied, it becomes defiled. This is where the wisdom, this is the Lord just saying. Then Haggai said, so it is with this people and this nation in my sight, declares the Lord. Whatever they do and whatever they offer there is defiled, because they had already defiled it. So remember, David wanted to build the temple. Temple didn't get built until Solomon, and then Solomon was able to build the temple. And then even during Solomon's reign, particularly in the late years, and then particularly after him, his sons, other things were happening in the temple. Worship of other things. So, and other rituals and other things. So the people had defiled it. So the Lord's like, okay, you're rebuilding it. You're rebuilding in some place that's already been defiled, right? Okay, so whatever they do and whatever they offer there is defiled. So he's reminding them that of what was going on. they were rebuilding something that the people had defiled. And being a person, being a community, a group as Israel was, to rebuild something and then rebuild it for the correct purpose. The correct purpose is of worship of the Lord. And the correct purpose and that righteousness comes from the Lord. Now give careful thought to this from this day on. Consider how things were before one stone was laid on another in the Lord's temple. Okay, so he's telling them, because remember, the Lord was there, and then they built the tabernacle, and the tabernacle was moved, and then they wanted to build. David wanted to build him a place, so so his son Solomon did build that place, and so he's telling them, remember, remember everything that has happened, and the reason why is because the people weren't seeking the Lord. The people had stopped. They had got all these blessings and were living the high life, but they stopped seeking the Lord. They stopped loving the Lord. So the Lord was like, I was giving you signs. I struck all the work of your hands with blight, mildew, and hail, yet you did not turn to me, declares the Lord. So in our lives, again, when we go through devastation and such, and then things get good because the Lord hears our prayer, the Lord sees us or has his everlasting mercy and love, and he helps us. Remember that. Understand who is doing it and continue to love him. Love him even more so because he has provided you the way. He has got you out of it and he has provided for you. You have successfully left that. That is now in the past. And so bless the Lord even more. Be grateful even more. Strengthen your faith in the Lord even more. Utilize that even more. Otherwise, you haven't rebuilt. We haven't rebuilt. We can't move. We can't move down our path. We can't continue. We may not even be utilized because we're holding on. We're not rebuilding. We're just trying to show what's on the outside. Everything's good on the outside when things are not necessarily good on the inside. We have the good shepherd that can provide that help. The person who listens to us and is faithful. Think about those things. Who is loving, who is faithful, who listens to us, who provides for us and what we really need. Not what we think we need or what we tell somebody we need, but what we truly need. Before we go on, though, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel and what does it make you think?